hunting,
fishing,
cooking,
camping,
conservation,
travel,
gardening,
photography, family.
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 This is the Outdoor Rules Podcast. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Outdoor Rules Podcast. Excited to bring you this one today. Mark's here with me. Say hi, Mark.
Hi, everybody.
And we have one heck of a special guest. Buddy Seth Morris is on. Say hello, Seth.
What's up, guys? It's good to be here.
Thanks for doing it. This is it's great to have you.
It's kind of been a long time coming. We've been chatting about doing this for, I feel like, forever. And it's mostly my fault that we haven't done it yet. But life's just kind of hectic, you know?
Busy people, man. It's hard to connect sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think I give you some credit as inspiration for the podcast. Last time we were together, we were on a podcast. You said, you should do a podcast, Mike. So That's stuck in my craw for a year or two. I thought, well, shit, if Seth Morris says I should do a podcast, maybe I should give it a whirl.
Yeah, and here you are.
So he's the reason I got sucked into this?
You can blame Seth for as much of this as you like.
It's my fault. No, I'm glad you did it.
Yeah, well, now we joke on here that we now have dozens and dozens of listeners. So,
Hey, you got to start somewhere, you know.
How about it? We're up to this will be episode 88 every week, man.
Dang.
Yeah, grinding it out.
That's awesome. That's great.
We also joke that sometimes we even have a hard time getting our mom to listen to these things, but you know, we do our best.
Yeah, that's all we can do.
Seth, why don't you go ahead, give us the bio, give us the longest version you care to give us.
Oh, let's see. Well, I can start with where I grew up. I'll go way back. All right. So I was born in State College, Pennsylvania. Lived in Pennsylvania for a couple years, and then moved to New Jersey, which a lot of people don't know this.
I didn't know that.
New Jersey, and lived there for 10 years. I think roughly 10 years, maybe not quite.
Mark lived in New Jersey too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, just north of Princeton.
We were, you know where Pennington is? It's not far from Princeton.
I lived on a golf course and I didn't leave it very often.
Gotcha.
It was for work.
Nice.
But it was like 100 acres of my own hunting ground, so that was nice in the center of New Jersey.
That's wonderful. I was great hunting there.
Yeah, excellent hunting.
Yeah, I used to bow hunt Jersey all the time. But then moved. So my family, my grandparents had a farm, still have a farm in central Pennsylvania, and like that's where like all of my childhood memories are there. Like I lived in New Jersey for 10 years, but like I feel like I just don't even remember a lot of it. Like my parents would basically ship me to the farm once school was out, and like that's where I spent my summers. And then we ended up moving back to Pennsylvania when I was like going into 6th or 7th grade or something like that. But yeah, you know, grew up basically walking out the door every day, being able to hunt and fish, and you know, we had a farm pond, and the farm borders state game lands, so like kind of always had just unlimited amount of country to explore. And as a younger kid, like it doesn't take a lot of country to, you know, make you feel lost.
Yeah.
So that it was like a good upbringing. Then once I graduated high school, I went to Penn State for forestry, and got a associate's degree in forest technology at Penn State Mont Alto, and then transferred to the main campus and got a bachelor's in ag science and a minor in agronomy. And my thought with that was that I wanted to like manage private hunting properties, basically like private property wildlife management stuff. And I did that for a little bit. But then, like, after college, just kind of had like this burning desire to chase critters around in the West, and just never really had the time or money to do it. So me and my buddy Rick Hutton, he's like one of my best friends from college, we kind of talked about it for a couple of years, and then, you know, the time was right, and we just ended up pulling stakes in PA and moving to Montana. And this was 2016. He ended up getting a job with the Forest Service, and I hadn't got a job yet. We were just like, whoever gets the first job, like we're gonna move out there together to like split costs and stuff. He ended up getting a job with the Forest Service in Helena, and I was just like, all right, well, you got a job. I'll figure it out when I get there, I guess. And ended up, like a week before we left, I ended up getting a job with a private forestry company that does like fuel wood mitigation, and we fought fires in the summertime. And that's kind of like what got me to Montana. And from there, we just like basically hunted and fished as much as possible.
Like, dream.
Yeah, it was so awesome for like, yeah, so many years. Just like, we basically covered every inch of this state. It feels like we did. There's still so much we need to cover, but yeah, it's a big state. But yeah, we would go, and just the amount of miles we would put on our truck to go for a weekend elk hunt, or, you know, go check out the corner of the state, or whatever. We just did a lot of traveling around Montana, and did like a lot of networking, trying to meet people like in the hunting and fishing space, and conservate. Like, we joined a bunch of, you know, we became like heavily involved with BHA and stuff like that, and we're just did a lot of stuff to like network with people, and meet new people out here. And that's kind of what led me to where I'm at today. Just like meeting the right people. I worked for that forestry company for a couple years, and then I ended up working with Chester Floyd, who you know.
Yep.
He was building bows back then, like traditional recurve and long bows. And
Chet's a man of many talents, isn't he?
He is. He's like, you know, when you hear like the most interesting man in the world, like that's one of those guys.
Right. And also some unassuming and humble and
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hell of a stick. The boy knows how to catch a walleye.
Yeah.
But so we moved to Helena when we first came out here, and then like when I started to work with Chet, that's what like got me to Bozeman. Like the goal was to get to Bozeman at some point, because like that's like what felt like the hub of like the outdoor industry. And while I was doing all this, like on the side, like my passion was like shooting photos. And I like never really took it serious as like a full-time thing. Like I would do some like side gigs shooting photos for certain companies and stuff. But I never really, for whatever reason, didn't like pursue it as like a full-time thing.
When you say that, Seth, like, how did you break over? I mean, there's got to be like a point at which it's like somebody says, "Oh, I'll pay you to take photos." I mean,
yeah.
What was that inflection point? Because it ends up being pretty important in your story.
Yeah. So like that's where, when I mentioned like traveling around and going to different events and like networking, is like kind of how I ended up at Meateater, just like meeting people that knew people from Meateater and stuff like that. And it was back in 2018, and like right before the hunting season kicked off. My one friend at the time knew a gal that worked at Meateater, and they were looking for a production assistant. And she just threw my name out there and was like, "Hey, this dude like shoots photos and stuff, and you know, spends a lot of time in the mountains, can haul gear around, and does a lot of backpack hunting. So he'd probably be a good guy for the job. And yeah, I just like randomly got an email from a gal that was working here at the time, and then I ended up getting like an interview with Giannis, and after that, it was like that September I went on my first elk hunt with Steve and the Meateater crew. Just, you know, hauling gear around and making sandwiches and, you know, doing whatever I could to help in the field. And that's kind of like what kicked that whole deal off, and how I ended up here.
Yeah, it's a little bit funny. In some ways, it might sound hokey. In some ways, I feel like a little bit of a kindred spirit with you. You know, just in terms of growing up in Pennsylvania, having sort of this Western ambition. We both got degrees in natural resource sciences, moved out west, somehow ended up in the Bozeman area, because that's really where my story started too. And you know, then I think there's like these weird similarities, especially early career with that stuff, where it's just like, you know, how do you break in? Like, well, you figure out how you can make yourself valuable. You got to want to spend a bunch of time in the mountains. You can't be scared to carry a bunch of heavy stuff around, you know?
Yep, totally. Yeah. And then basically, yeah, I at that point I was just doing contracting work, like on an as need basis. And I think I did every shoot that, every episode of Meateater that season. I think it was season 8 of Meateaters when I started. And then after that year, I think I did contracting work for like a year or so, and then I got hired full time.
Yeah.
As like a production assistant, and then was always like shooting photos for them, like as they needed stuff, or when I was in the field, I was just shooting photos like behind the scenes stuff like that. And they like started using them for, you know, whatever. And then like that led into like, hey, while you're out there, we need to get like these photos. So I would like, I'd start to go in the field with like a list of stuff that I needed to get as far as, you know, photos. And then yeah, from there just like led into a full-time photographer position.
Yeah.
Were you always taking photos like as a kid? Was that something you did, you know, did you grow up with it, or is that something you kind of had to teach yourself?
I started in high school, like later in high school. I was just like obsessed with like TV shows like Heartland Bowhunter and stuff, and like the production quality of those shows back in the day, and like the photos those guys would take and stuff. Like they were honestly a huge inspiration to me back in the day, and I was just like, man, I want to like start taking hunting photos like those dudes. Like at that point, never thought like, oh, this is like something I want to do full time. I just wanted to like take cool photos to, you know, post on Facebook or whatever back in the day, and just like document my hunting adventures. So like, you know, typical story, like you start with a shitty camera that you can afford, and from there you like work your way up. And then yeah, that's kind of like how I got into it. And yeah, that's basically really the photo story.
It's really amazing in terms of like, you never know where one thing will lead, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I always say like, well, something will happen, and then something else will happen, and something will happen after that. And I'm like, I'm such a big planner. Like I wish I could really adopt that as a philosophy, but it's so true that you just, you know, you don't know what's going to lead you to the next thing. It's crazy how that works.
Gotta let it play out, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, helps to do work that you're passionate about, right?
Yep.
Find something you're good at that you care about, and probably work out in the end.
Yeah. Now in my current stage of life, I always say I should have, if going back, if I could redo it, I would go to be a marine mechanic so I can fix all my shitty boat motors.
Well, let me tell you something, buddy. We all got boat problems on this podcast.
Yeah.
Did you solve that 90 horse Merc issue you had there?
Not yet. I got a guy looking at it next week, but it's one of those things where like it happens 10% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And 90% of the time it's fine.
Right. You take it to somebody and they're like, there's nothing wrong with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But like, you get it out on the lake and you're running it all day long, and then like, you hit your last spot of the day and go to fire it up, and you're like, it just won't start for whatever reason. I have no clue why, but Mark, I have a kicker on it. I can always flip back to the ramp.
That is the big reason why I have a kicker on one of my boats too. It's not, like, oh, it must be nice to troll with. I'm like, troll with it. No, that's good to get me home.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Not a trolling motor. That is plan B.
Yes.
I have Towboat USA to get me home.
Yeah.
There you
go. We're what is it? Wednesday. We're flying out in 2 days. We're headed back to Virginia. Mark, what is it a 23-foot Pro Line?
Yeah, 23-foot Pro Line center console.
With a big 250 Honda on it, but
Mike broke it the last time it was out.
We've occasionally had an issue or two.
That happens.
We've only had one issue where we had to get towed in, and that was when you broke it.
That's true. Here you go, Seth. Now tell me what you think of this.
Yeah.
The theory goes that I was operating the boat. We were sheep's head fishing. I don't know if you're familiar with those critters, but we're fishing the bridge pilings on the Chesapeake Bay Bridge tunnel, and I'm operating the boat. So, it's a lot of operation in and out of gear, trying to stay close to the pilings. These guys can kind of more or less vertical jig on those sheep's head. And whatever happened, in theory, allegedly, I bumped the kill switch, which obviously shut the boat off.
Yeah.
And nobody knew it happened. So then there's like a moment of like, oh no, what's going on? And people had to jump up front and push us off the pillars. And then we figured out the kill switch thing, but the boat would not restart. And it turns out, allegedly, the starter was bad.
Oh.
But I'm telling you, man, it didn't turn. It didn't crank. It didn't make a noise. Ah, dang it. This is our other brother calling me through my headset. Hang on. Gotta shut him up.
Now,
is it just
the one?
Is it three? You got 3 brothers? You got any other siblings?
A sister.
Yeah, Mark, Matt, and Mike. So
nice.
None of us ever got. Somebody called me Mikey the other day. Was that you, Mark? 2 people have called me Mikey in the last week, which I absolutely hate. And I was like,
never knew.
You can call me Mark, you can call me Matt, you can call me Mike. Just don't call me Mikey, please. I can't stand it. I grew up in the age of the Life cereal commercials.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Mikey likes it commercials.
So back to the boat. The one problem with the Hondas is you can crank them when the kill switch is pulled. So we were cranking quite a while before we realized what had happened.
That's not how I remember it.
Well, there was quite a bit of panic when we were drifting into the bridge pillars.
One way or the other, I got blamed for this. What you get for being a nice guy.
Do you have siblings, Seth?
I have a sister.
So Oh yeah. You got to blame them whenever you can. Pass the buck.
You're right. Man. So Seth, you and I, we met, do you remember? I think it might have been 2019 or 2020.
Yeah, somewhere right around that time.
Yeah. Steve drew an oryx tag here in New Mexico, and we linked up with a couple other buddies here, Carl Malcolm and Jeremy Romero, who have both been on the podcast a time or two. And you and Steve came down because there was no video with that when you were just shooting stills.
Yep.
And I don't know what you remember about that hunt. I have a couple memories of it, but I'm curious what you remember, because it was a June oryx hunt in South Central New Mexico.
I can tell you the highlights of what I remember.
Go for it.
I remember it being just hot as shit.
like 106.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember sitting in your old pickup truck chewing Red Man. And there was like flies all over the place.
Man.
And we were just trying to like find whatever little shade we could, which was the cab of your truck.
Right.
But also the cab of your truck was so hot. I remember almost stepping on a rattlesnake.
That's definitely one of the things I was curious if it stood out for you too, because I remember, like, you literally opened the door of the truck, stepped out, and had stepped over the snake.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was, for whatever, I think it was just like just cool enough in the morning where he was just like not super active. I don't know, but yeah, didn't rattle or nothing. I just like was about to get back in the pickup truck when I looked down and saw the snake was sitting there. I remember just seeing a lot of oryx, but it was tough getting close enough to kill one.
Yeah. It was just so hot.
So hot.
That's the hottest week of hunting. Caitlin had a June oryx tag a year or two before that, and she was like 6 months pregnant at the time.
Oh.
And we got it done, but we got it done in a day. We got one at that first spot that we hunted with Steve. Got it done and got out of there. But I think we were successful on day 5 of that hunt that you were on.
Yeah, it took a few days.
And I always think it just like it's hard and it zaps your energy when you hunt in the cold.
Yeah.
And then somehow the heat is worse.
So much worse. I'll take the cold any day. Like, I'll take 20 below out on the prairie hunting mule deer with the 20-mile-per-hour wind than that heat.
Yeah. You just can't get away from it.
Yeah. Even at night, I remember laying in the tent at night, just like sweating.
Right. Yeah, I remember like we got up, we moved a time or two, and you get up in like a morning that you're going to move, because we were just camping in the desert.
Yeah.
You're going to get up, you're going to move, and when you pull your sleeping pad up, it's like 20 degrees warmer underneath your sleeping pad than it is like on the ground first thing in the morning.
Yep.
Like, no wonder I'm hot. It's like, like laying in an oven all night.
Yeah. That was a fun hunt, though. That was a good.
It was a great hunt, and I think with really great people. I mean, I think the world of Jeremy and Carl, and that was I had met Steve a time or two. That was the first time I had hunted with him, and to get to meet you, and like you said, I still got the old pickup, man. That
oh, do you? Nice.
Yeah, first generation Tundra. I think I'm up to 270 or 280,000 miles on it. It's still going strong. But no, it was a real pleasure to hunt with you and the rest of the guys that week, and it was nice to be successful. I also remember how fast it felt like we had to get that oryx to ice.
Yeah, it does not take long in that heat. The good thing is it dries. You get that surface dried out real good, pretty quick. Mm-hmm. But you need to get on ice quick.
Yeah,
those things were delicious, by the way.
Oh, they're
good. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Mark joined us on I think the very first oryx hunt that we ever drew out here. Caitlin drew her once in a lifetime, and Mark flew out, and I think you probably spotted the one she ended up getting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah. So one of the things coming up here, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, Seth, is I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a Father's Day episode, and I think you might be the newest dad that I know. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. It's been a wild, sleepless journey so far.
Uh-huh. Where are you guys at? A couple months in?
We're like 3.5 months.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. I always tell people, like, I feel like when we had kids, when we had little babies around, not that my kids are that old. Mark's got a CJ 10, Mark.
Just turned 10.
So between the three of us, we've got 4 kids from 3 months to 10 years old. So we're all at a little bit different phases, but
yeah, a little bit.
I always felt like, when the kids were babies, there were a lot of people that were like, oh, you just wait, like the next stage is harder than when they're babies. It gets harder, and
all the time. Yeah.
I'm going to try to provide you what I think is good news. I do not believe any of that.
Good.
I've
had a couple nights where I'm like, I can't imagine it being harder than this.
I think you're right. If you're not sleeping, I don't think there's anything harder. Like, that was the hardest part for us. I mean, and it took us a while to get our kids to sleep, through the night and sleep in their own beds with the first one. And the second one, we had everything figured out. And then he got RSV and was in the hospital for like 5 nights when he was 9 months old. And that like reset all the sleep stuff. That stuff was all so much harder.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We have a lot of friends out here. Like, our friends group everyone has kids for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all like anywhere from a couple months old to, I think the oldest is probably 3 years old now. But yeah, it's like some of them say the same thing you do, and others say, like, once they get mobile, that's when it's the hardest. It's just, I don't know. I'll find out, I guess.
Well, you definitely will. I'm not saying, like, every phase definitely has challenges, but and maybe one of the big differences, those people that are like, oh, it gets harder, maybe their kids slept good at night, because I do know some people that are like, no, my 3-month-old, like, we have to wake him up to feed him in the middle of the night. Like,
yeah,
that is not the reality I lived, man.
Which I should knock on wood, for the most part, like, he does sleep pretty good. Like, he wakes up once per night. Like, as of now, he's waking up once per night.
Yeah.
To eat. But like the last 2 weeks, he's started this new thing where, like, he just does not want to go to sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's extremely tired, but it takes like an hour and a half every night to get him to fall asleep, and it's just like he like screams the whole time.
Yeah. And I think you go through too, like, weird stuff happens and you go through sleep regression or whatever they call it, and it's like you think you got life figured out, and then you kind of get knocked on your butt again.
Yep.
But I don't know, it's I think the big thing that kind of I remember from the phase that you're at is, like, sometimes you really got to give yourself a lot of grace. Like, sometimes you just got to survive.
Yeah.
Like, throw all the good advice out the window and just
Yep.
do you and live and don't worry about it.
Yep.
So
yeah, no, it's been fun so far. We had him out. We went out for the opener here in Montana, the turkey opener.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife and I both ended up killing turkeys, but it was like, we showed up to the spot first thing in the morning. She had to feed them, so I was like, I'm gonna run out to this ridge here and see if I can hear turkeys gobbling, which I did. And then I just like went after them for a little bit and ended up killing one. Then came back to the truck and went to a different spot where I was just chilling with Virgil. His name's Virgil. I was chilling with him in the truck, and my wife went out after different birds and ended up killing a bird by herself, which was her first solo turkey kill, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
But
that's awesome.
It was cool because I was just sitting there in the truck with him with the window down, and she was close enough to where I could hear, like, her call and the turkeys gobble back and, like, this back and forth. And I was just like kind of giving Virgil the play-by-play, which he had no clue what I was saying, obviously. But Yeah, it was fun, and then just hearing her shoot, it was super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously you won't have a direct memory of it, but there's something to getting them out there. There's something to exposing them to the feeling and to your excitement about it, and
yeah,
sometimes they really surprise you too. I mean, we didn't have any successful hunts quite that early, but we had an oryx hunt. I think Robert was less than 18 months old, and like not all that long ago, he asked us, like, you remember that time you got the oryx that was standing on the side of the hill and then it fell down? Caitlin and I like looked at each other like, how
do you
I don't
remember
think
that?
we've told that story very often. Like, how does he remember that?
Yeah.
But I don't, you provide them those situations where there's big emotions happening. I think they pick up on it more than you think they do.
One thing that we found out that Virgil likes is he enjoys being in his life jacket.
No, really?
Which I feel like is rare.
Yeah.
And just like the motion of the water, like the boat rocking on the water.
Mm-hmm.
The kid can sleep in a boat, which is great.
Yeah, I wanted to get into like, what you're doing with them and what your expectations are in those stages.
Yeah.
You're getting them out fishing quite a bit, right?
A couple times we've had them out fishing. Like, we've done a lot of like just bank fishing with them, but we've had them on the boat a couple times, and we took them camping one weekend, like in a tent, actual camping, which was he did great. It was it was more like a trial. We were trying to turkey hunt too, but it was like more of a trial weekend for getting him out there and just trying to figure that whole thing out. But it's amazing how much extra stuff you got to take.
I was I was just going to ask you, if you've had that experience yet of like just looking at the pile of stuff, like all and being like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, is this a bad idea?
Yeah. It's like, I need to get an enclosed box trailer for all of this stuff.
Right. And 2 sets of gear. So you can just leave one in the trailer and you don't have to move everything in and out of the house all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Caitlin and I kind of had this thing when the boys were real little like that. We called it just go. Like we'd be like, oh, we'd love to do this. And then we'd start talking about it and we'd kind of start planning it and be a day or two out. And, kid's got a runny nose and, he didn't sleep good the night before. And you're looking at the pile of gear and you're like, this is going to be a train wreck. Like the weather might not be good. And,
you
and
try to talk yourself out of it.
Yeah. And one of us would look at the other and say, just go.
Yeah.
Totally. And I think that was a really powerful thing for us to be able to do that. And like, it might be a train wreck. Like kid might break a fever while we're out there. We might all get rained on. We might drive 3 hours and have to turn around and drive right back home. But like, I feel like the risk the other way is just like falling into the trap where you don't do it.
Yeah. No, I think that's huge, and like we're the same way. Like you just gotta do it. It might suck, but I don't know. I just think like getting them out there and used to that kind of stuff. Like that's before we had a kid, that's like all we ever did. And then I think I've seen it where basically parents will conform like their life around their child, whereas like we're trying to do the child's like a part of our life and it's just going to go do what we're going to do, and we don't want to like we don't want the kid to be like 2 years old and we're like, okay, we're going to try this camping thing out now,
right?
Like we just want it to be normal, like us going camping with the kid and it's shitty and miserable and whatever. is just like a normal thing we do, you know?
Yeah.
So
Mark, you've had a lot of success with your daughter, right?
Yeah, I mean, we took the approach of just like, let her decide what she wants to do. Rachel and I both hunt, and it's like you really want your kid to gravitate towards that stuff, but we just try to be like, we're gonna do it and let her see us do it, and then hopefully she takes to it. And I mean, she really has. She loves it. She loves ice fishing more than either of us do. She shot a buck last year. 2 seasons ago, she shot her first buck with a crossbow, and I mean, she just wants to go.
nice.
So
Yeah,
I'd just say, you can't force it on them. You just gotta let them come to it.
yeah. I think about that all the time. Like, I so badly like want Virgil to just like fall in love with fishing and hunting, and like I'm like, but man, what if he's like super into baseball and like we got to do that thing or whatever? Like, I don't know. I just think like my plan as of now, which I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so this could change, but like
No one does. Nobody does.
try to take the activities that we love to do and like make them super fun for him, and then hope that he just like falls in love with it.
Yeah. And I think that the way to do that is to temper your expectations.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be the same. Like, you had kids. I mean, they change your life. There's no two ways about it. But if you can mold your expectations for what the experience is going to be to that, like, I'm going to try to go at their pace. I'm going to try to, build this out so that they enjoy it. And when they stop enjoying it, maybe you push a little bit, but you don't make it miserable. And I got to tell you, man, I don't know what I'm doing either, because our 7-year-old, I mean, right now, he's all in. He finds a, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation magazine or whatever, Wild Sheep Foundation magazine. He brings it to me. He's like, check out this rifle, Dad. Like, what is this? And he shot a deer in Pennsylvania last year. He's, you gotta drag him off the lake or away from the pond when you're fishing. The 5-year-old's not that into it.
Really?
No. And I don't know. He goes out with us. He's not like miserable about it. He's on the boat, but he wouldn't choose to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have their things they like too, so like I don't know, whatever path they choose is totally okay.
Well, and the beauty of that is I don't think it matters if it's okay with you or not. I mean, that's more of a you thing than a them thing, because they're gonna, at some point in some way, they're gonna make their own way, and that's just the thing you got to accept, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it's also so satisfying being out there with them. And even I hope Emmett doesn't listen to these in 40 years and curse me, but he still has moments where you can tell he does really enjoy some parts of it. And some of that, I mean, we've all got siblings, some of that is maybe in part a reaction to, his sibling being really into it and it being like, well, I'm not, I'm different than my brother.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I'm way different than my brothers. Those guys are idiots.
Oh, that's funny.
At some point the competition though might take over too. It's, Emmett wants to catch more fish than Robert and shoot a bigger buck, and that'll change things.
Yeah. They're young, and who knows what they'll do.
Seth, I mean, if Virgil does, go on to hunt and stuff, like I can't express to you how gratifying it is and how exciting it is being there. And I actually, I wasn't there for CJ's buck. My wife Rachel was with her when she shot it, but getting over there as quick as I could to help, track and drag and gut. And I mean, just any deer that I've ever killed, far would rather watch that and be a part of that than anything I've ever done in the woods. Like it's incredible.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that. Like the first buck, first deer, first fish. Like I can't wait for that stuff.
Yeah. Matt, our older brother Matt and I were together with Robert in a box blind when Robert shot that buck this year in PA, and he was cool as a cucumber. Man, Robert was just like, it was weird. He was stone cold, and Matt will probably get mad at me for saying it. Matt and I both cried, like, bunch of babies up there.
Yeah,
but
that's cool.
It's so fun to see kids engage with those things, and form a bond. I think both with the outside and the things that we've come to love, and then also just when you get a chance to do it as a family, I think it's a pretty amazing, pretty gratifying thing to watch.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, I look forward to those days.
How do you think this is gonna change work for you? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, is that a factor for you?
Like as far as travel and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I definitely want to be home more. But I don't know. I still love the travel thing, so it's like it's such a hard like I'm finding that like you want to a couple times now I've been like, oh, I can't wait to just like get out there or whatever, and then when I'm out there I'm like, oh man, I just can't wait to get home. So it's like a hard, like, you want to be there, you want to be out there so bad, but when you're out there you just want to be home so bad. It's just like a weird thing that I've like never experienced before, that I'm like just trying to figure out as I go.
Right. I know I've probably said it before on the podcast, but I feel like I had, and I'm older than you. I started later than you. You're a couple years younger than I was when Robert came along, but I feel like I did that thing where I moved to Montana 2000, summer 2000, I think, and we didn't have Robert till 2018. So Caitlin and I married kind of halfway in between there, and spent that time as a married couple doing the same thing you and your wife were doing, just every weekend, full bore. And I do feel like I'm thankful that maybe I got a little bit of it out of my system.
Yeah.
Like I really had a pretty long period of time to live my, big game hunting dreams in the West, and, got to do a lot of things I really wanted to do in my life, and then moved into this next chapter. And I think it's made it easier, maybe more patient, and sort of less like feel like I'm missing something all the time. And I mean, I got to imagine with the, like, just the wild amount of experience that you've got, you pack 10 times the outdoor adventures into, half the time that I did.
Yeah. Yeah, I still like, I don't know, I feel like I'm still trying to transition from my old life to my new life. Because, like, before I would just, like, I wouldn't, like, ask my wife to go do things, Like, I'd just be like, hey, I'm heading to Peck, on, like, I'd be like, are we doing anything, like, do we have anything planned, whatever, 2 weekends from now? Because if not, I'm going to Peck with my buddies.
Right.
And, like, that was cool, But now it's like, hey, I'm thinking about going to Peck, like, in a couple weekends. Like, is that cool? Or, so, like, that part of this whole deal is, like, something that's, I guess I don't know if you could say I've been struggling with it a bit, but I'm just, like, it's, like, not something I'm used to doing. And, I don't know, just navigating that. Because, like I said, when I'm home, like, I love being home with Virgil and Kelsey and like want to spend as much time with them as possible. But I still have that fire inside of me that's like, man, the smallmouth are probably biting pretty good right now.
Yeah.
And just like trying that balance of like,
Think what you said there about trying to figure out, the transition from your old life into your new life. The good news, and I do think I mean that it's good news, is that you'll never lose that.
Yeah.
At least you won't lose it until your kid's out of the house, and then I suspect even then you won't lose it, because I still feel that way 100% of the time, because the kids change so much every week, every month.
Yeah.
I mean, they're, who they are, what they're capable of, what you can do with them, what they want to do with you, like that never stops. And I think Mark's done a great job of it, building the foundation with a daughter that loves to do the things he loves to do. Caitlin and I are definitely working on it. I'm confident that you and your wife are going to figure that out too, Seth. And then in some ways it becomes part of the fun.
Yeah. I
like,
can see that.
I was talking to somebody recently about kids fishing, and, Robert's super into fishing. Again, he's going to listen to this 40 years from now and be pissed at me. But I mean, right now, I feel like it is so hard to fish with Robert. He loves it so much. He wants to do it 100% on his own. And it's like, if you have two parents with them and one kid that age fishing, one of you is going to fish about 25% of the time. Because, it's like I do nothing but untangle stuff and try to get the boat in close enough to retrieve the lures out of the rocks, 10 feet up the bank. Yeah. Like, it's just this constant amount. And I'm 100% guilty of having these moments where I just get so frustrated. I just have to go stand in the back of the boat and stare at the floor for a minute, not talk to anybody.
Yeah, but the thing about that is, and I've been experiencing this a bunch the past few years, is like there's gonna be a point where that completely flips. Mm-hmm. And he's going to be taking you on fishing trips.
Yeah.
Cussing at you. Like my old man, we have the place in Alaska. Mm-hmm. My dad comes up every year. It's like the first time I took him up there, he had never fished for halibut or anything up there. Like totally new experience for him. And it was almost like taking him fishing for the first time, which is interesting because it was like he did that for me, 30 some years ago, and now like I'm doing it with him, and it's like I'm teaching him this thing for the first time. And it was just like you'd be like, hey, if you're fishing circle hooks, right, with just like cut bait on it, be like, hey, your instinct is going to be when you get a bite, you're going to want to set the hook. You can't set the hook, you just got to let him eat, right? First thing he does, gets a bite, sets the hook, and it's just like funny stuff like that. You're just like, kicking the side of the boat, but yeah, it's funny how that switches at some point.
It does. And it's a natural progression, and it's totally a good thing, Yep. You got to pay it back. And maybe that's the investment that you're making now, Yeah. The longer you go, then the longer you stay on the planet, the more those kids are going to have to drag you around and help you do stuff,
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said, Seth, for, I mean, it seems like you like Mike and I have married a badass woman who wants to get out there and wants to be involved. Like one of the biggest struggles I had when CJ was born was, I mean, Rachel's always been, she knows how important, especially like archery hunting is to me. So she'd always prioritize, like, I know this is your time of year, this 6 weeks in Pennsylvania, go. But it was always like you felt bad because she wasn't going to, you know what I mean?
Totally.
And You were taking I was taking an opportunity from her to be out there also because I know how much she loves it.
Yep.
So I think that plays into it, some of that dad guilt too. But like to Mike's point, eventually it's going to be all three of you.
Yeah.
And 4 or 5 or however many you end up, wherever you stop. But it, I feel you there. I felt that at times in my.
No, that's a great point you bring up because I totally feel that. Like Kelsey and I would do, like she doesn't like the fish as much as I do, but like she's like into the hunting stuff. I would go to like Peck or wherever fishing. She would come with, but I would go fishing. She would like go hike around and stuff and look for sheds and whatnot. But yeah, it's like I like feel guilty going without her, and that's definitely been.
And you miss
I struggle with.
And you miss them too.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, you come to a point where you do so much together, when you're off, and that's like you talked about being away and feeling both worlds, dragging at you. That oryx hunt was a good example. Robert was little when I went on that, and man, I'm out on an oryx hunt with the Meateater guys, with you and Steve Ranella and Carl Malcolm and Jeremy, and after 5 days, I'm like, I cannot wait to get home,
Yeah.
And people listen to this and they're like, you got to be totally crazy. Like, it's an absolute dream come true for, thousands and thousands of people. And I'm like, I know, but that, I love everything about the hunting and the camaraderie and all the things that we got to experience on that hunt. But I love the wife and kids too. And that's, it's just part of it.
Yeah, I get the guilt when I'm laying there at night, like if I'm, on a fish trip or whatever, like on a work trip, laying there at night or like wake up in the morning and like get a good night's sleep. I was like, my poor wife is not experiencing this right now.
Yeah.
I always feel bad about that.
Well, that'll come around, and then before you know it, you're dragging them out of bed to try to get them to go to school. So
yeah.
Yeah. That'll, like I said, that it's all transition, I think, from here for the rest of your life.
Totally. That's what, yeah. Every week, something new.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about your wife's artwork, because Mark's absolutely right. We the three of us, we married badass women. Mark's wife is a professional photographer. My wife's a wildlife biologist, and your wife is amazingly talented as well.
Yeah, she's a full-time artist. Her specialties like oil painting and some graphite sketches. She does like dog portraits and stuff with graphite, and she does oil painting too for portraits. But like Western wildlife is basically her bread and butter for the oil stuff. And one cool thing she recently did was she painted the cover for the spring Field and Stream issue.
That's so awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which was super cool. And she's working on I guess it would be the fall issue. There's 2 that come out per year, so she's painting both of those covers, which is super cool.
Yeah.
But
where if people want to check out her art, where do they go?
Probably head to her Instagram, and from there you can find links to her website and stuff. But I think it's just K-Ray Artwork on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm a follower.
But yeah, you
I am too.
all her stuff there, and then find links to her website and whatnot. So
really having you on the podcast, Seth, is really just a pretense to try to have this conversation so that we can get her on here.
Yeah. Oh, she'd be happy to join anytime.
My theory was getting Mike on the podcast so we could get Caitlin in here because she's far more interesting than he is.
There you
no
go.
doubt about it. she can carry more elk meat than me too somehow, even though she weighs 100 pounds less than I do.
Man,
I married well, man.
I need people that like carrying elk meat.
Well, talk about that. That's like another, that's another way that I'm hoping these kids are going to pay it all back is someday I hope to walk up to that bull elk and be like, all right, boys, I'll go put a coffee on at camp. Tagged it.
Yeah.
Now you do it.
I can't wait for. I mean, I don't want to wish away all the the years from now until then, but I look forward to the days when I can give Virgil some chores.
Yeah.
The garden needs weeded, or boat needs cleaned up, or whatever. We need to pack some meat or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know that
I got a 10-year-old I'm trying to work chores into, and
it's harder than you think.
Just there is something to be said when they can't talk yet.
Or move. I mean, there is something to, like, when they get mobile, then, I remember with Robert being like, oh man, I cannot wait until, he can crawl, and I can't wait until he can walk, and I can't wait until he can talk. And then Emmett came along, and I'm like, you know what, bro? Take your time.
Yeah.
You go at your speed. We don't need to hurry this along too much. It definitely changes between the first one and the next one. But,
yeah.
I've always said, like, I try to live in the moment and just say, like, and truthfully, it's true. Every step, every phase has been my favorite. The infant laying around where they can't do much and you just could come home and hold. The babbling kid when they start talking and moving, and up to a 10-year-old who's my pal who wants to go help me clean the boat and wants to be in the garden with me weeding. Like, every phase is the best.
Yeah.
It's fatherhood is so incredible. I mean, it's the best thing I've ever done, and the best thing I will ever do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe the hardest too.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
But worth it.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. It's crazy how it's, like you said, it's the hardest but best thing you'll ever do.
Yeah. So in the spirit of Father's Day, Seth, I'm going to ask you, like, what are you really thankful that your dad gave you from an outdoor traditions or outdoor experiences standpoint?
I mean, I think just like the opportunity to fall in love with it, just like getting me out there, teaching me, it's not just like going and killing the buck, it's like, here's a red oak acorn, or here's a monarch butterfly. Like, it's like the little things like that you learn along the way that, like, makes the overall story like cooler, like,
yeah,
learning the little things kind of in between the big thing, which would be like, killing the buck or calling in the turkey, just like the time out in the woods or out on the water, and just like learning the little things was always my favorite.
If there's one element of this that, in that vein of tradition, if there's one element of this that you could pass on to Virgil that you hope he'd pick up, what would it be?
I think it's one thing that I always think about is very important with hunting and fishing is like just paying attention to very little details. Like always having your eye out for like little things. Like, for example, if you're walking down you're hunting turkeys in the spring and you're walking down a sandy road and you see a streak in the sand, like there's a tom strutting there and that's his wing marks, or like you wrap around a point when you're walleye fishing in the water in the back bay is a little bit more stained than the main lake, like that water temp's probably a little warmer. Like just little things like that, like that I want to teach him that like he could pick up on and like, use that to be more successful when he's out there.
That's one of the things I loved about trapping with CJ. There's so much niche little details that you have to pay attention to. And I mean, she loved doing that.
Yeah,
So
trapping's a good one for that. Like I grew up trapping with my dad, and from an early age, and it was like, and a lot of work goes into that too. So I think you learn some work ethic there, and like, I would get up and run traps before school, so it was like, you know, getting up and checking traps in the dark, and then getting home to catch the bus. So early mornings, and um, I think trapping's like a awesome thing to do with your children. Just it teaches you a lot, teaches them a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I would reflect so much of that, and think it's for me, it's a little bit of that in the vein of the Jeremiah Johnson, you can't cheat the mountain thing. Like I think the thing I'd like them to learn, is that you can't fake it. You know what I mean? Like you can't fake it without being easily found out. Like that whether it's trapping, and or fishing, and paying attention to the details, and learning about the natural world and how things work and how things change. You know, it's real, and that's what I think I like about hunting and fishing. You know, is that the guys that learn that, the people that learn it. I don't mean to say guys, because I think women are every bit as good at this as we are, but you just can't fake it, and it's probably what I hate the most. There's a lot of things I hate about poaching, but probably what I hate about it the most is that it is an attempt to fake it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is an attempt to cheat the mountain, and it's just, I sort of utterly disrespectful to the things about it that I love, and I hope the boys come away with some flavor of that.
Yeah. Yeah, woodsmanship I think is just like one thing that I really want to work on with Virgil, and hopefully it comes natural to him.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say about our dad, I know he's listening to this, or he'll listen to it eventually, and I just want to say, one, happy Father's Day. I want to say happy Father's Day to you too, Seth. Happy first Father's Day.
Thanks. Same to you guys.
Yeah. And, I want to say happy Father's Day to our dad, Mark. I was thinking about this a little bit, and I really feel thankful to him for bringing us up in this outdoor tradition, and not for the hunting and fishing necessarily in and of itself, but it is a very real way to learn to be a father and a son. I think it's a real framework in which you can build that relationship and grow that relationship, and he did it with each of us. And I think overall it also brings in an element of community. I'm 100% confident that a big part of what all of us get out of our outdoor pursuits is that sense of community. Seth, you talked about your friend group and all the people that you have there, and I'm confident, like it's been for me, and I know it's been for Mark, a lot of those relationships get founded in this community that we have of the love of these outdoor pursuits. And Dad gave that to us, and I appreciate it, and that's for me the biggest thing I hope to pass on to the boys. And if it's hunting and fishing, that would be absolutely amazing. I'm comfortable at those things. I know about them. I can teach a lot about them. If it's music or photography or art or sports or something that I haven't even thought of yet, so be it. As long as we can find that thing to do the same thing, find community and that relationship as fathers and sons, fathers and daughters, that's where it's at. And that's what Dad taught us, I think, through the outdoors. And thanks, Dad. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
Amen to that. Well, Seth, I sure as heck appreciate you taking the time to do the podcast, man.
Yeah, you bet, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
It's It's been fun. And,
you are invited back anytime. I'm just gonna start bugging you again about when we're gonna do the next one.
Yeah, let's do it.
We got to do a muzzleloader podcast.
Oh,
we didn't even get into muzzleloader hunting.
We didn't even talk about flintlocks.
Okay, well, I got to say it. The coolest thing anybody that I know has done related to Meateater is you getting Steve to Pennsylvania, to north central Pennsylvania, to flintlock muzzleloader hunt and getting him into flintlocks. Congratulations. Absolutely amazing. I can't wait to do it. If I could choose for us to do one trip together at some point, Seth, it'd be Potter County or one of the northern tier counties together. It's a love we all share. So
we should do it sometime. We should make it happen.
We'll take the boys. How about that? And CJ, not just the boys. Great. We'll take the kids.
We'll take the kids.
She did tell me after she shot her archery buck, and she said, next year I'm killing one with a rifle. She shot a doe with a rifle this year, and she said, immediate that deer hit the ground. She looked at me and went, I'm killing one with a flintlock next year. Well, that took me 37 years, CJ. So
yeah, but you're a slow learner.
Well, that's true. She's a better hunter than me already too. So
that's for sure.
That's great.
She gets that from her mom.
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks again, Seth. Thanks, everybody, for listening. As always, you can find all of the content on our website, www.outdoorrules.com. Hit us up on the socials. We're on Instagram at Outdoor Rules. And most importantly, if you listen to this and you have a thought about anything, send us an email, outdoorrules@gmail.com. Thanks again, guys, and happy Father's Day.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Good chatting with you. Happy Father's Day.
Thanks.
Hunting and fishing, the great outdoors, mixing history, laughter, love, and folklore, creating memories with family and friends. These are the trophies that matter in the end. Outdoor Rules.